Hey there, thanks for watching. Welcome to today's Side Hustle Saturday. I apologize, it looks like I'm not wearing anything. It is massively hot. I don't know, it's like only 50 degrees, but I don't know, I'm just feeling it. I'm feeling warm. So I thought for today's side hustle, I'll give you a quick update on what I'm doing currently. There's nothing really exciting because I kind of feel like I'm on a pause for the moment because I am going out of town for my day job next week, Monday through Thursday, and it's tough to really do anything and kind of gear up when I'm going to be out of town for that long. So I wanted to like hold off on doing anything huge on eBay. So that's kind of been a holding pattern, but I just a mom to six had suggested to kind of weed down my store rather than putting things on 99-cent auction to add free shipping, and I thought that was a really good idea. So that's going to be something I'm doing going forward. And then just if anyone's wondering what I do when I'm out of town, rather than put my store on vacation mode, I will just extend handling time to like 4 days or whatever. Because even if something sells the first day I'm out of town on Monday, then I'll still have 3 more days to ship it and be able to do that when I get back. Not that I really anticipate anything to sell because things have been kind of slow. I really haven't been working it as hard as I could be, but that's just where it is. So I thought kind of I would give you a history of my side hustle history, or my hustling history, and explain why I am using the strategy that I'm using right now and kind of how I'm trying to shift direction. So I have always been a hard worker. I have at very few times in my life had only one job. Most of the time I have two or three. And that's mostly because I haven't been able to make enough with just one job. Or I kind of like, I don't like to sit around. Like I like to be doing things. I like to be active. Just recently, I'd say within the past 5 years, 5-ish years, I started earning enough. And it's not like luxurious by any means, but I've, gotten to the point where I can afford to just have one job. Although I try not to only, I try to have at least two things going, because I never want to put all my, job eggs in one basket. So I've always had some kind of hustle going on. My very first job ever when I was allowed to work, well, I babysat, from the time I was little, like 12, because I had a younger sister, and so that was kind of, I learned how to do that. So I babysat, but I also, my first sort of paycheck job was working at a movie theater in, here in town. And it was funny because, I'm not going to tell you the movie that was out, but because it dates me, but, my mom had gone to see this movie and she's like, hey, they're looking for help. Would you be interested? And I'm like, why not? So I went and I applied, and it was all right. And again, with like salary jobs, there's a lot of like waiting around, and I maybe didn't fit in so well with the culture because I was this like clean scrubbed little classical girl hanging out with these like, it's a grungy kind of kind of kids. Um, so I maybe wasn't the best fit there. But I stuck it out, and I made all my shifts, and to this day, like the smell of movie theater popcorn brings me back to that summer that I worked there. So it was a summer job. I remember riding my bike to and from and being like, this is a lot of work for not a lot of pay. So I really learned the value of hard work. So that was my first job. And then my second job, and the one that I kind of enjoyed the most, was waiting tables. And I did that. I used to work, my first waitress job was at a Friendly's in town as well. And I love that job because I feel like it was like a sort of not equity, but like the more I hustled, the more tables I would turn over, the more money I would get. So I felt like that was a good exchange of time and energy. And it was very family friendly, so I fit in a little bit better there. So I remember like the gentleman that first trained me, I believe was a recovering alcoholic. And the reason he chose Friendly's, like he drove like maybe an hour from his house to get to that location. The reason he worked at Friendly's was because there was no alcohol. And I really respected that. And he didn't say that out loud, but I just kind of like got that feeling. So he did a really good job of training me. I still to this day remember, you see fries, you think ketchup. So he really was a good first time trainer. He also taught me how to tie a tie because we had to wear ties with our uniform. And I had no idea how to do that. So he showed me how to do that. And it was a lot of fun because it was there was a lot of camaraderie there, and I remember hanging out with like a lot of different people and different personalities that I wouldn't ordinarily interact with. Because I mean, there were again people in town that I wouldn't normally see other than working at the restaurant, and I felt like we made a good team because we would all try to sort of help each other out. So that was a really good experience. And then going into college, I continued to wait tables. I also did things on the side, like I was a personal assistant for the guy that created the Charles Atlas workout program, and was kind of heir to that legacy. I proctored law school exams at Columbia, NYU. What else did I do? I did a lot of like here and there for the summer. I would like a lot of personal assisting. And what else is kind of the most interesting? I was a production assistant and then later personal assistant to a movie director that lived in town. So that was really exciting. Let me know if you want to hear more about that because I love to talk about that too. Because that was probably my most interesting, the most interesting job that I had, the most sort of enduring one that I still think about to this day. So that's kind of how my hustles have run in the past. This is how my strategy is going to change. I would rather, I want to get away from trading my time for money, and I want to create products that will generate ongoing income. And that's sort of the ultimate sort of track of side hustles. So we know that's the way to go. That's a smart way to go. And I'm working toward that. So today it's going to be May 11th, and I'm excited for some things coming up. Again, the blog is something I'm working on, and that's another way I'm trying to sort of conceptualize that is rather than looking at it as like a hustle, I'm trying to think of it as a property and as like a rental property, like literally, because I know companies are allowed to capitalize their digital expenses. So, meaning they treat them as properties, and that's exactly what they are. So I think I'm trying to think more like that. I don't have the income right now to have actual physical rental properties, but this website is going to be my property. So that's kind of helping me to think about it as an investment rather than just something I have to, another like grinding out side hustle. So that's how my strategy is going to be changing a little bit. So that's where it is for the side hustle today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, and let me know if you want to hear more about working for the movie director, working on movies, because that was a lot of fun, and I'd love to talk about that. Thanks again for watching, and I hope that you'll keep watching. Bye.